The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
I can't win today. Go ahead, Raven Shadow.
It's we can't win for trying, but let's just keep it short and simple. Tonight we are down a god, but we are being joined by a goddess. So without further ado, welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 499 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein, also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau. We've had endless amounts of technical difficulties, so if you're watching live, we're sorry. Like, this is ridiculous. Tonight we had everything fucking happen. So, anyways, as Raven Shadow very eloquently put it in the beginning, that was a Raven Shadow. One thing I got to give you credit for is you're always on the ball, man. Like in the spotlight, you produce. That's what you do.
Thank you.
Nice job there.
Thank you, baby.
All right, Raven Shadow. Well, since you did such a great intro, I'm going to put you on the spot here again, and I don't know if you've given this any thought. But in the past, when I've done the intro, you got mad at me because you wanted to do it. So I'll leave it in your very capable hands.
I never got mad at you. You know how much I love you. All right. But, on the call, fucking big ups to you all. We have the fucking princess of podcasting. Only is she prolific in her productivities. Is that a word? Prolific. She's prolific and proficient. She was an amazing guest. She diversifies in a lot of pies in the podcasting community. And I'm very happy and excited to be joined. And I think I can speak for you, Johnny, in this case, by our good friend Rachel on the podcast, right?
Yeah, Rachel from the Zombie Girls. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me back and for that amazing intro. I learned new words. This has been already a great night.
Because he just made them up. That's why.
Again, another Patreon perk, the Raven Shadow Urban Dictionary. Make it happen.
My God. He already has his own fucking Urban Dictionary. Well, we are joined by Rachel from Zombie Girls. Once again, Rachel joined us for the first time back in New Guest November. So it's been a few months, but it's a pleasure to have you back on. And Raven Shadow put it very eloquently at the beginning. We're down a god, but we're up a goddess. So Rachel, thank you for joining us. And I think we'll need it for this episode because we're going to be talking about Nightmare Alley, the latest film from the maestro, Guillermo Del Toro. So we'll be talking about that. We have some voice messages that we'll be playing later on. And I'm sure we'll get into some other trouble. But before the trouble happens, let's catch up with Rachel. What's been going on in your podcasting empire?
Oh, my gosh.
It's extensive.
It is extensive. It is a little crazy. It's going great. I mean, we are starting 2022. We've got new Patreon things going, plug. But yeah, it's going great. I don't know. Same as before. Still going strong. Excited to be here.
What are some like over the last couple months? It doesn't have to be since last time you're on, but what are maybe some movies that you've covered or some guests that you've had on that you were really kind of excited about?
Yeah, well, on More Deadly, which is our women-directed podcast where we focus on horror movies directed exclusively by women. We've been lucky enough to have some really great guests on. We had Sarah Adina Smith, director of The Midnight Swim, recently, and we have a episode coming out next week with the Addams Family, which directed Hellbender and The Deeper You Dig. Yes, they're this amazing family that makes films together. It's a mother, father, and their 2 daughters, and they swap directing duties, writing duties, acting duties, and they just they live and breathe filmmaking, literally. And they came on and were amazing, and I'm really, really excited for people to hear that episode. What else have we been doing? Our episode for Zombie Girls just dropped today, where we covered Death Becomes Her and Witches of Eastwick, which was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Those are definitely movies that I saw way too young, and then as an adult watching them again, I'm like, I have a different perspective on these movies. But yeah, it's going great. It's going great.
Excellent. So, and folks, if they want to track down the podcasts, or as I've mentioned before, if they want to check out the awesome VOD release calendar, they can head to zombiegirls.com, and that's girls, GRRLZ. So go to zombiegirls.com, and you guys can find all the podcasts there. And obviously, you guys are available on pretty much all of the podcatchers as far as I'm aware. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all those, right?
Yep, Audible, all of them.
Cool.
if you put up a podcast catcher, we'll come. Build it and we'll come.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone go check out Zombie Girls if you haven't done so yet, and all the other podcasts associated with it. And zombiegirls.com is your one-stop shop. And as I've, once again, I'll say it again, the VOD calendar is huge. It's really my go-to for booking the show. So, I get a lot of, obviously emails and screeners and stuff like that these days. But even before I was getting a lot of those, this was super helpful for me. But even now, even when I get those, I'm like, I got to look is this out yet? Is this coming out? And then, I look and see, and sure enough, it's always accurate. It's always up to date. So if you guys are curious, I would recommend checking that out, so you can keep up on all of the goings on streaming and VOD releases.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how much. That's truly the best compliment you can give me every time. My heart.
Well, I can imagine how much work it is to keep that, because there's no fucking way I could do that. So I appreciate it.
Oh, great. I'm glad it's helpful, because when I started, I was like, oh, this will be great. It's great SEO, whatever. And flash forward a few years later, I'm like, this is my life now.
I know, right?
This is what I do.
We have Evil Corny is hanging out, and he says, tell Rachel a good episode covering The Rock.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, that was fun. We did that on the Untitled Nick Cage show for my co-host's birthday. It's his favorite film. It's the film that inspired him to become a scientist.
Wow.
So it's a life-changing kind of
of all the films.
I know, right?
Raven Shaw, did the Rock inspire you to become something?
Yeah, chemical super freak. It inspired me to become a prisoner and to become incarcerated. Which is a pretty good career joke. No, I adore The Rock with Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage. My Nicolas Cage triumvirate is fucking in no particular order, or in this order. The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off. I fucking adore it. And I just watched with Marion Wild at Heart over the weekend for the first time. I've not fully seen that. In Heavens, Willem Dafoe, who we'll talk about later on. Goddamn, I didn't like Willem Dafoe in that movie.
Goddamn, pal.
Controversial. Wow.
Yeah.
No, and Wild at Heart, I don't think he was a nice guy.
Oh.
Okay.
That's fair.
I think he was really rude in certain scenes in Wild at Heart. But no, I love me some Nick Cage.
Yeah, one of the things we're trying to ultimately end up with is sort of the Mount Rushmore of Cage, and those are definitely contenders.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like you also got to get some soft Cage in there too. I don't know if you guys have seen Pig yet, but that is also, I think, a Rushmore contender.
Yeah, we haven't. We almost did it on the show last year, but I wasn't sure if it was. I know it's not necessarily a horror, and we don't always do horror, but It just seemed like maybe, I don't know. We do a lot of Nicolas Cage stuff. Like if he has something come out, we typically do it. Like Willy's Wonderland and Mom and Dad and Prisoners of Ghostland and all the ones that have come out recently. But yeah, Pig we didn't get to. But
it's not the movie you think it is. I will tell you that. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like John Wick with a pig is how it was marketed, but it's a much like quieter movie about food. So it's excellent. I would love to see Aries synopsize it, but that's my own little like my sadistic side.
Yeah.
This would probably be very quiet. It's kind of like sometimes like talking to a doorknob. And I'm just saying that because he's not here. But there was a time when Nicolas Cage is my favorite actor. I love the dude's output, Raising Arizona. It's funny. We were at the shop. I do part time with. We'd do Valentine's Day boxes, like grab boxes, and I pulled a couple of things. I pulled a Preacher trade because to me that's a love story. A couple of like single issues of like, Superman, Lori Lamar's. I had the wedding of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and I threw in a copy of Leaving Las Vegas, which I thought was funny.
I mean, it's kind of a love story.
Yeah.
It's love between a man and a bottle of booze.
Well, yeah. Then there's other characters involved, but I thought that was funny. No one thought it was funny, but it sold. So I'm really fascinated by who bought that. But no, I love Nicky Cage.
You call him Nicky?
Nicky Cage.
Nicky Cage. And I forget the name of the movie, but he had that movie coming out this year, I believe, where he plays himself.
The unbearable weight of something
talent or something or talent, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So that one should be interesting. Apparently, he wasn't very happy with the movie after the fact because he's sort of like become a caricature of himself, and like so he has to live up to this sort of like reputation of being this crazy guy, and apparently from everything we typically hear, he's like a super nice guy behind the scenes. I've seen him buy like cars for people working backstage, like on films, and like give them his jackets, and I hear he's like super nice about that stuff. So like I don't know, like it's interesting. He just had this string of roles like Mandy and like a bunch of these films where he played this fucking crazy guy, and he always had this freak out, at least one freak out in a movie, and now this is who he is. This is his reputation, and I think the director of that movie may have gone too far, and I don't know if Nick Cage was happy with the results, but I don't know. Like, I guess we'll find out. It's coming out, I think, this year. So
I think he takes himself pretty seriously. Like in interviews when he talks about his craft, he takes it very seriously. So like my first hot take of the night is going to be that Bruce Willis has the career that Nick Cage is that people say he has. That's my first hot take. That's right. Shots fired at Bruce Willis.
What do you think about that, Raven Shadow?
Die Hard, man. I mean, I'm once again, Rachel's here, so I'm moonstruck. That's not a Bruce Willis picture, but exciting. No, I mean, Cage is crazy. Like he would legend has it, like he would just like buy cars when he's filming in Georgia, and then done filming, and then leave the car. I was like, no, you got to pay taxes, brother. You still got to pay for that. You can't just buy cars and leave them there. Like he eventually had to sell he had a copy of Action Comics #1 that he had to sell. His weird love for the King, and he eventually married Lisa Marie Presley. Yeah, which is kind of weird after Michael Jackson because that was fucking no. Everything they say this wouldn't last. Yeah, no, they didn't. It didn't, motherfucker. Didn't last. You are a cartoon. And she's just a sad. I don't know the woman, but yeah, it's weird. But,
that's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird. watch Face Off.
All right. So everyone go check out Rachel's podcast. And let's see here. We'll get a bunch of comments in the chat room. Double D says The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off is the Nicolas Cage Holy Trinity. They're outstanding. Evil Corny says Nick Cage has the worst Alabama accent in Con Air. Corny would know because he is an Alabamian. I don't know. He says the worst. Double D says the worst yet the best Alabama accent.
Yeah, I feel like it comes around to where it becomes the best again. Yeah.
And then Evil Corny says no one here talks like that. And he says Cage should have got an Oscar nom for Pig.
Agreed. It's wild that that did not get any buzz. It got like some Indie Spirit Awards, which is my, is the new Oscars as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it was wild. I mean, I guess, they had to give it all to West Side Story because,
Because Spielberg, right?
Exactly. I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad that you had the bravery. You were brave enough to say it.
Oh, shit. So let's see here. What else we got going on? I don't know how much into genre TV you are. Do you watch streaming shows, Rachel? Do you try to keep up anyways?
I mean, I try to keep up. We are at peak TV for sure. Some of the stuff that I've watched recently, you actually talked about on the last episode, which is Peacemaker, Boba Fett. I kept up with those. Mm-hmm. But the other things I've been watching recently, have you guys talked about Archive 81 on Netflix?
So some folks, I haven't seen it, but some folks have mentioned it and brought it up and said that it's really worth a watch. So yeah, I'm curious.
Excellent. I would definitely give it a go. It is really creepy. It's culty. It's kind of, if you have a taste for sort of like cosmic horror and Lovecraft horror, it kind of skirts into that territory. I listened to the podcast years ago when it first came out, and it follows some of that formula, but I think for those of you who did listen to it, there's still plenty here because they have taken kind of like some of the basic structures and really kind of twisted them and in my opinion improved them. I know you just like did a bunch of binging, but if you feel another binge coming on, Archive 81 is definitely worth a go.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually looking for another show. I was going back and forth so much that I didn't end up watching anything. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to watch? I'm like thinking of
analysis paralysis.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
I was trying to think of the last year or two, and I'm like, oh, I really wanted to watch Sweet Tooth. I never watched that. And I'm like, well, I wanted to watch this as well. And I just ended up sitting there going between the different streaming services, and then it was like I have like a half hour before I need to go to bed, and I'm like, I don't have enough time now. So
absolutely.
Yeah, but I just got to make a decision and figure out which one to watch. I did. First off, Raven Chow, I'm not going to spoil anything because I assume you haven't seen the season finale of Peacemaker.
I am a little bit short. Yeah.
Well, the season finale dropped today. Better get on that.
I'm gonna.
Because you're probably going to get spoiled if you don't.
Well, don't be a dick. Spoilers.
Well, I agree.
But still struggle, like, there's a weird, like, brother and sisterhood about not spoiling movies for a certain amount of time. But there are some motherfuckers and friends that me and Wolfie know, personally, that don't give a fuck because they watch it at 4 a.m. And then it's like, well, I'll fucking post the fucking Black Saber or whatever it is. Like, motherfucker, it is still dark out. It's still fucking dark out. Can you just fucking wait before you post the fucking Black Saber?
I know.
Whatever dollar store saber that they have. Like, can you just wait? Like, why do you gotta? And I'm still confuddled by folks.
Did you say gufuddled?
Befuddled. Is that a word?
Right, adding that to the dictionary
Is
right
that like a
now.
mix
Type,
of
type.
yeah? Is that a mix of befuddled and gefilte fish? Like what the fuck?
Yeah, like motherfuckers who posted like egg salad sandwiches. Like, dude, I'm fucking concerned about your cholesterol, dog. Stop posting egg salad sandwiches. Why are you gonna fucking post shit? Just like it and move on, dog. Like,
I don't know if I've ever heard a clearer cry for help than someone posting an egg salad sandwich.
I know, right?
Help that man.
Yeah, what the
He's
fuck is
begging
that?
for it. 5150.
I'm listening to fucking Van Halen fucking eating egg salad sandwiches. Help me.
Oh man, we have so many people hanging out right now. We have EF popped in. EF says, was last week's film Lady Terminator so bad that Ares refused to show up this week in protest? It could be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Aries is like shoveling and it's not fucking snowing yet. It's fucking-
Apparently, Tim Chuma got fired yesterday. I'm sorry, Tim. Jeez, I'm reading the chat and now I'm like, he just says it so nonchalant that it just seems like funny the way I got fired yesterday. Well, hopefully you can find something soon, Tim. That sucks, man. Creepy Girl says, "Wow, finally a girl on the show. Wow, finally."
Yes.
Well,
See, we got an open spot right there. Put her right there.
Oh shit. Let's see. Evil Corny says, I liked Archive 81. So there you go, another one. Evil Corny says,
Nice.
watch Fringe, Wolfie. No, I'm not watching Fringe.
That's a commitment.
Yeah, that's too much. Like one season, maybe two. The Last Girl. I'm not familiar with The Last Girl, but welcome to the chat room. Last Girl says,
Get ready. You're about to have some trouble in the chat room.
Uh-oh.
I know who that person is.
Uh-oh, okay. The Last Girl says, Servant is amazing too.
Yes. Yes.
I've
agreed.
I've heard good things. I do have Apple TV Plus. It's funny. My brother was talking about Servant. He watched. I guess he really liked the first season. Second season, I guess he just didn't like, and he won't watch the third season now. So I don't know.
I really liked the second season.
Yeah?
It goes places by the end. Maybe he fell off early. I don't
Could
know.
be, yeah.
Archive 81's pretty great, but if gun to my head, I might say go Servant.
Okay.
It's pretty great.
I still do like M. Night, so I think his last few films have been pretty good actually. So
This is, I feel like, peak M. Night. So if you have not been sworn off him, and even if you have, like, this is kind of him maybe at his best.
okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. Last Girl also says Search Party is great. I'm in the middle of the newest season right now, and it's wild. Okay. I'm actually not even familiar with Search Party, so I will jot that down and take a look. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm caught up on chat. Marion says, Creepy Girl, I made Raven Shadow watch Wild at Heart this weekend. Was that your first time, Raven Shadow?
yeah, fully.
Yeah. You pulled a Bomba radio with it, right?
Well, I saw commercials.
You saw commercials. Great.
Yeah. It's like the grandfather from Lost Boys. You get TV Guide, you don't gotta watch TV. You see a commercial for it, you don't gotta watch the movie.
You ain't gonna watch the movie.
I get it, leather jacket, but no, it was nice. Sailor and the story, it was good. I like true romance more is more my milk, but because I fucking adore true romance.
Yeah. Yep. Uncut version though. You have to watch the unrated version.
Unrated version. And I think as much as I enjoyed Wild at Heart, true romance, fucking Alabama and Clarence.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yep.
Yeah,
for me.
Raven Shadow. I won't spill the beans here, but Raven Shadow, on our latest Patreon episode, Raven Shadow did the top 13 pop culture duos, And it was, could be couples, it could be adversaries, it could be tag team partners, it could be sidekick and hero, whatever. And, they may have made an appearance. And I had admitted to Raven Shadow that I've never seen True Romance.
Ooh.
And he got pissed at me.
Ooh.
He almost left the show. No.
I mean, that's your loss of serotonin.
So maybe I'll watch that. Maybe next time I'm looking for something, I'll watch that first, Raven Shadow, before I dive into another show. But
Good.
we won't talk about Peacemaker because it just dropped today, and I'm not gonna. But there was something kind of cool that happened in it, and also they announced the day before it dropped that their season 2 was picked up. So there'll be a season 2 of Peacemaker, and James Gunn is going to write and direct every episode.
Amazing. So I know you don't want to spoil it, but can you tell us whether or not it stuck the landing?
I think so. Yeah, I think the whole.
Awesome.
There's one part. Oh man, like there's one part in it that like was heartbreaking and like super like, I'm trying to say without, like, I don't want to give anything away, but there's one part that was like just kind of like heartbreaking and like a big moment for a character that was just like, so I don't know, like it was just really well done. And that's the thing I love about James Gunn is he is a fucking maniac, and crazy shit fucking happens in everything that he does. But it's so grounded with heart in every single thing he does, like all the way back down, like to like Super and whatever. Like all of his stuff has that heart at its core, and I think that's really what makes him so successful. And no matter how batshit crazy he gets, he always keeps it grounded in strong emotional ties to the characters.
Yeah, and dance numbers.
And dance numbers, holy shit.
Yeah, I when I heard that the spinoff was happening, and I'm not familiar with that character at all from the comics. Of all the people from Suicide Squad, I was just like, this is not the character I want to spend more time with. I could not have been more wrong. It is such an incredible. I did not expect to hear, "Don't treat me bad" and cry while watching Peacemaker, but here we are. Here we are.
And that scene with him playing fucking Home Sweet Home on the piano, like
I can't.
It's so good.
I keep trying to talk all my girlfriends into watching it. I'm like, I promise you, you're gonna have so many feels.
Yeah.
And just to see Vigilante in the prison,
holy shit,
for that alone, you have to watch the series.
I fucking love Vigilante.
I'm ready for the Vigilante spinoff. I could spend every day with him.
And Freddie Stroma plays him so fucking perfect. He is hilarious. Like, it's so good. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Seriously, like, that show, first of all, should not exist. And the fact that it does, and it's so good, is insane. So, yeah, people should definitely check that out if you haven't already. Let's see. Everyone's pissed at me for not seeing True Romance.
All right, just fire it up. We'll just watch it live.
Okay, yeah.
We'll just watch it live tonight.
We're so late as it is. I mean, we'll just you guys can talk. I'll watch the movie.
Right?
What's that, Rave Channel?
Why don't you go eat some kale and fucking watch True Romance?
Maybe I will.
Yeah, you should.
I mean, kale chips and True Romance sound like a great night to me.
That's my next album type. I'm looking forward to that.
It's the name of his Wolfenstein's memoir.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kale chips and True Romance. The Wolfenstein story. TM, I want my cut.
Evil Corny said, hugging Eagly. Yeah. I fucking love Eagly. Apparently, I just learned this.
Eagly.
I learned this today. Apparently, Eagly is 100% CGI.
Durr.
I mean,
I thought that there might have been some scenes where it like they actually had an eagle because it looks so good.
Do you think they really cast an eagle? Do you think as
No,
great as James is, he can get an eagle on set?
Not everything. Some of it. Like obviously, an eagle's not gonna fucking hug John Cena, you asshole. But but
Like, hey, Dave Bautista, grab that eagle. Make him hug Cena. Like, I know James Gunn's got a lot of juice in Hollywood because everyone jumped on him, and he even made Marvel fucking, go back against their fucking statements. But I don't think he can train an eagle to hug John Cena.
I feel like you underestimate John Cena's charm.
That is true.
Maybe that happened, and then they wrote eagerly around it.
That's true. That was a life event.
What is
Oh,
that
no.
sound?
Oh no!
Is that Ollie? Did Ollie do it? No, it's fine now, Raven Shadow.
You know what? My dog Ollie will hug me. Ollie, give me a hug.
Oh my God, what is that? I think Ollie was fucking running amok under there. All right, so Evil Corny's posting gifs of the eagle hugging John Cena.
Amazing.
Creepy Girl asked, "What did we all think of the Nope trailer?" I love Jordan Peele, and
Mhm.
I love that he has great trailers that don't give too much away, and I feel like he knows just the right way to do it. And I don't know, I saw enough to make me super interested, and that's all I needed. So
Yeah. Apply it directly to my eyeballs immediately.
yeah. Although I did see somebody guessed that Nope means something. I'm not going to say because it could actually be spoiler, but I thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, so I won't say it. If you want to look for it and find out what it means, I'm sure it's out there on the internet. So
I have heard this as well.
Yeah.
And it's especially having seen the trailer, I feel like it's believable that that's what it means.
And I guess it's not that
But
much
it better
of a
be
spoiler,
good,
but
or can you imagine the review headlines for that movie?
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
it's gonna be
exactly.
rough. Bold choice, Jordan
Yeah.
Peele. Bold choice.
Evil Corny says, "I think Raven Shadow is jealous of Cena. Only a possum would hug him." Is that true, Raven Shadow?
What does that mean, Corny? Only a possible hug Cena or me?
You is what he's saying.
I've hugged more than a possum's asshole. Okay.
Oh, someone's a big deal on the show. Okay.
I've hugged more than
Sorry,
possums.
we can't all hug above possum level over here.
Oh, I've had my arms around some things.
Jesus. All right.
Elaborate.
I've hugged Corny. I've given Corny a hug when he's in my house.
Well, was that while he was peeing in your shower or not?
No, it was after or before. Sure. Kept it secret.
Kept it secret.
I hugged him at the airport. I gave him a hug and a kiss when I fucking met my mom going to Rock and Shock. Like, listen, Corny, really?
Oh man. What else?
The rare possum burn.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a thing, but a new genre of roast.
Yeah, we get the fucking awesome possum. That was good. That was fun.
Is that like the bloomin' onion, but different?
Yeah, it's like onion rings and roadkill. Yeah,
Oh,
order
God. No thanks.
that. I'm a vegan now.
Good. I'll bring you some kale chips, Raven Shadow.
Thank you.
All right, well, maybe we should move on because I want to kind of want to jump into the movie and get talking about that. But before we do that, if you guys want to help support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. Number one is head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And there you will be able to join for as little as $2 a month. And we've been having some conversations about maybe converting the Monster Piece Theater into more of a sort of series discussion club. Maybe not all the time, but maybe occasionally. So, some discussion about that. So we've had some good input, so we appreciate that from you guys. But if you guys want to see some things like that, feel free to let us know. But yeah, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And as we mentioned a little earlier in the show, Raven Shadow and I did our latest Patreon show this past weekend, and since it was close to Valentine's Day, Raven Shadow came up with the great idea of doing famous couples or duos or whatever. So it's the top 13 best pop culture duos. They could be adversaries, they could be romantically entangled, they could be just partners, they could be tag team partners, and so Raven Shadow put together a list of 13, and we discussed that. And that's the latest episode, if you guys want to check that out. And it's over on patreon.com/trickortreatradio. So also there's some perks in there. You can get access to the entire Discord server. You can have your own Patreon takeover, just like Carlitos did last week, and other good stuff. So give that a look and check it out. Patreon.com/trickortreatradio. Also, we have the Amazon link, Raven Shadow, right? We go to trickortreatradio.com, you scroll down and you look for the logo, you click it, it's going to bring you to Amazon, it's going to input our affiliate link. And Raven Shadow, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't cost them any extra just to click on our link, right?
Good, Johnny, but it's another way to help keep the light.
Yeah, it's another way to keep the lights on. So that if we get a tiny little cut, doesn't cost you guys anything. So give that a look and use our link. And finally, on trickortreatradio.com, we have the digital store. You just click on store on the website. We have the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3. And, we've been doing the show. We're almost up on next week's episode 500, almost 500 episodes. We got all the Halloween shows, the year-end shows, all the specials, probably at like 525, 530 episodes, something like that. It's a lot of episodes. We don't expect you to go back and listen to them all. So if you guys want to check out a little sampling of some of the older episodes, you can give those a look. It's got all the arguments, all the interviews, all the songs. It's the highlights, the lowlights, everything in between. So give those a look and check those out. All right, Raven Shadow. So you sit down to watch a 2.5-hour movie. I'm sure you were really excited about this. And what did you do to prepare to watch Nightmare Alley?
I did the strongman competition because it was set in the circus. I did the whole hammer down. What? Threw some darts at balloons to maybe get some of the 80s. We would have mirrors of Lamborghinis and Motley Crue stuff. For those that remember you get that, you get yeah, thank you.
Yep, I do.
Things, and then you get I thought they were Native American souvenirs, but turns out they were actually roach clips that we would get. And I would hang them yeah, it's like this. No, they're fucking roach clips, because I would hang out with the carnies, do the tilt-a-wheel, and maybe spend $5 on fried dough. But listen, I'm so excited. We got Bradley Cooper. We got Guillermo Del Toro. We got fucking the Hellboy and the Beast. Rachel showing up. So you better believe he's trapped on. Yeah.
Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glory is a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the cult of muscle.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
I could be standing outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
Did you say a bouquet of dildos?
All right, we are back on Trick or Treat Radio, and it's time to talk about movie, and we're going to talk about Nightmare Alley. And this movie was theatrically released in 2021 and is rated R. It is 2 hours 30 minutes. It is directed by Guillermo Del Toro. And it is written by Guillermo Del Toro and Kim Morgan, based on the novel by William Lindsay Gresham. And the film has a pretty extensive cast. We have Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Toni Collette, Willem Dafoe, Richard Jenkins, Rooney Mara, Ron Perlman, Mary Steenburgen. Let's see, we have Holt McCallany, Paul Anderson, and a whole host of other folks. Also, Tim Blake Nelson I wanted to mention, who I just saw in the Watchmen TV series. Want to check that out. And the synopsis: an ambitious carny with a talent for manipulating people with a few well-chosen words hooks up with a female psychiatrist who is even more dangerous than he is. So, anytime we have an opportunity to check out a Guillermo del Toro movie, I am always on board. He is absolutely one of my favorite directors and super creative guy. And this goes back to, for me, Devil's Backbone's still one of my favorite ghost stories ever. So there's that. Pan's Labyrinth is fucking incredible. And he is just such a creative dude. And even if he does, his own adaptations of previous material, like obviously he did the Hellboy films, or two of them anyways, I'm on board. And this is no different because this is based on a novel, which also was a film from, I believe, 1947 of the same name. And if I'm not mistaken, you know a little bit about the original film, Rachel?
A little bit. I was going to try to watch it in the lead up to this, and I wasn't able to, but I did read up a little bit about how the films differ.
Yeah.
So if we get to those places, I'm happy to point them out.
Okay, great. Because I know Raven Shadow isn't going to go back and watch the 1947 film of the same name, right, Raven Shadow?
No, they made a first one?
This is the sequel.
Yeah, this is the sequel. You didn't see the first one?
No wonder it didn't make sense. There's a lot of lore you missed out on. First one's about the geek. Yeah.
The geek, yeah. So...
restaurant tour. Specialized in chicken.
I love the carny slang. in this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anytime we have an opportunity to check out a Guillermo del Toro movie, I'm on board. And he has obviously been, he's been doing great films for a very long time, but he's been getting a lot more, not exposure per se, but I guess more mainstream success. And I feel like he hasn't really changed his style much. Because a lot of times when that happens, when that occurs, you typically see someone sort of maybe diluting their style a little bit to be a little bit more mainstream. But in this case, I feel like his creativity is still very much on display, and his films are still very much his films. And, I think that's something to be applauded. And, and he won a fucking Oscar, for Christ's sakes, with, Shape of Water, which is awesome. So, and he's also has nominations for Nightmare Alley as well for this year. So, but yeah, so anytime we can talk about Guillermo, I'm all on board. And, but yeah, so this one, I didn't get a chance to catch it in theater, unfortunately. If things were different in the world, I definitely would have checked this out. But, so I was a little bummed out that I hadn't seen it right when it released, but was able to obviously catch it for the show. And Raven Chow, would you say you're a big fan of Guillermo del Toro as well?
Yeah, definitely a huge fan. Well, I've not seen every output. Guillermo del Toro is fucking amazing.
There you go.
He is from a class of Raimi self.
Yeah,
I adore his output.
Yeah,
what he's various genres.
He has a very distinct vision, and he's one of us. Like he is very much a fan of genre cinema. I mean, it's super clear in his work, but he is. I mean, I call him the maestro. I mean, he's a master of telling stories and of visual, just kind of visual language. And his monster creations are always, amazing. Especially as I mentioned, the stuff with Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy, and and all that stuff. So, he is one of those. I know a lot of people kind of turned on Peter Jackson when he did Lord of the Rings and the films after, but I feel like Guillermo is still very much grounded in his genre love. And even though, I mean, I love the Lord of the Rings films, don't get me wrong, and I've loved almost everything Peter Jackson has done, but it is a big change and shift from where he started. And I feel like that's kind of what I was getting at is, Peter Jackson kind of went off and did these grand, huge budget films, and that's probably what he wanted to do all along. But he got his start in horror, and, but I feel like Guillermo is still very much there, but he's been able to expand his reach, but still be grounded in the stuff that he loves, monster movies and stuff like that. Rachel, how about you? Any thoughts on Guillermo as a filmmaker?
Yeah, absolutely. This is my hot take number 2 tonight, which is that Guillermo del Toro is goth Quentin Tarantino. And that he is an obvious film lover, and he loves to sort of remix and play in the sandboxes of the films that he grew up loving, which in his case are things like film noir, things like gothic romance horror. I would say he's Quentin Tarantino goth without the ego, who's still very, very much in love with making films. And I think it's incredibly clear, even in this, where he's remixing something that already exists, but he's still able to put that stamp on it. He makes visual feasts when he makes a film, and that's been true all the way back to Devil's Backbone. That was true with Chronos. When you look at all of the art direction, even in that film, to today, this, whether you or not you enjoy the narrative portions of this, I think it is undeniable that visually he is a top tier director, an all-time director.
Yeah,
So I think he's okay, I guess is what I'm getting
yeah,
at. He's all right. He's all
all
right.
right. He's made a good film or two, I guess. So let's dive in a little bit here to Nightmare Alley. And so, I mean, as I talked about with the cast, it is a huge ensemble cast, and we have some great performances here from some of the cast. Obviously, it's centers around Bradley Cooper's character of Stanton Carlyle, and I don't want to get too much into spoiler territory with this, but this is a pretty big tale that spans years, I guess you could say. So it's but he gets his, it has kind of an auspicious start when he's in a house and he's dragging a body in and lighting it on fire and walking away from a burning building. And then the next thing you know, he is basically going to the circus or the carnival, and kind of getting involved there. So we sort of have this character we don't really know a lot about. We see that he did something potentially terrible, and now he's sort of like finding his way in this, in with all these carnies. And in there we have Willem Dafoe who plays the character of Clem. We have Toni Collette playing Xena the Seer. And then we have Rooney Mara playing Molly, and we have Ron Perlman as the strongman Bruno, and on and on and on. We have a lot of these great characters who are playing these roles in the carnival. And then and there is some, I like how they show some of the kind of like shady stuff that happens, but how the thing that I loved about this is right off the bat, we see how they're all sort of like grifting people in a way. But when people see this, they're enthralled. It's entertainment. So at the end of the day, does it really matter that this is a show? Because these people are enthralled. And that's one of the things I loved, is that we really got a chance to see that the carnival goers were really just loved the show. And I think that's one of the things I haven't really, I love the show Carnival, and I've seen other things, that sort of deal with this material. But I think that it was such, the way that it showed the care put into the art, if you will, I thought was really well done. Just the little details and all of that stuff at the carnival.
I think it's also important that there is a moral code that they make clear in this, that these people are paying for entertainment, and to some degree they see them as marks, but there are lines, and obviously that's an important plot point as we move forward. But I think, this early stuff with all of the carnival culture, I think, is pretty fantastic. I honestly wish we had spent more time here, because the way that this world is presented and the richness of the characters in this portion of the film are like, I just wanted to kind of spend time here, more time with Xena, more time with Ron Perlman's character. And even though Willem Dafoe is despicable, like he crackles on screen. He's such an incredible actor, and he's so perfectly cast in this as, basically this human trafficker.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
Yeah, pretty much. And I would agree. I think that like it created such a great little world contained within, this carnival. And I really did want to see a lot more. And, you never know from a trailer or whatever, but I did think that a lot more of this was going to take place within the confines of the carnival. So that, I wouldn't say it was a letdown, but it was a surprise that it spent maybe like the first act or so there, maybe a little bit more than the first act. But Raven Shadow, in the past, we talked about, what was it? Killing of a Sacred Deer, I believe, had the NKHJ. Was that I'm sure you remember that, right, Raven Shadow?
How can I forget?
The Nicole Kidman hand job in the car. In this Raven Shadow, we got the TCHJ.
Yeah. Which
rub a dub in the tub, right?
Yeah, it was like, hey, I'm taking a bath here. Like, oh, I guess I'm getting a little handy. That's fun.
I mean, in terms of surprise HJs, I think a Toni Collette one is a top tier.
Yeah.
That's an aspirational HJ.
That's not bad. That's good. Hey, like Ice Cube would say, didn't have to use my AK. You know what I mean? Like,
Didn't have to use my HJ. Today was a good day.
no, and don't knock the HJ.
I don't think anyone is.
Yeah.
Running around amok. Ollie, come here.
He says, "Don't knock the HJ," and then talks to his dog.
Yeah. That was a rough turn, dude.
What the fuck? And now he's just getting up. Okay, well, whatever.
I do like how he just sort of ghosts occasionally. I mean, I think it's bold, and I like it. I appreciate it.
EF Contentment.
What has Aries started? I feel like this is the legacy of Aries.
I know, right? Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel. I am bold, but no, my dog behind the couch like fucking Chewbacca trying to fucking get something fixed before we escape from Hoth. I don't know where
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Were you done, Raven Shadow?
Well, I'm talking about a TCHJ.
He's finished, I think is what.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And he's spent. Okay.
Carney bathtubs and weirdness. That's fun.
EF Contentment says, I honestly would have preferred a film strictly about the carnival.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some interesting stuff that happens in the second half, especially the way it kind of like it shifts into this almost like greed Wendigo kind of film in the second half of this film, which I think is really interesting. But I almost could have had that be like one short act and most of the time sort of spent in him learning this trade.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I just thought it was so enthralling and you know, but I think for the narrative that he was telling, it was, you know, that's really all it needed to be. So I understand, and you know, we do have a pretty lengthy film at 2.5 hours. So I think we definitely didn't. I think the fact that we're wanting more is probably a good thing, because even though the film is, 2.5 hours, and we're still pining for more of the carnival, I think is a good thing. But EF also says, I think Tony C is gunning for the #1 spot of HJing Australian actresses from Nicole Kidman.
I mean, they are from down under.
Yeah,
you know?
It's true.
They spend a lot of time in the lower hemisphere. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Tim Chuma says, one of us, Gibber Gobber. All right.
Nice.
He is from down under, so he knows. But yeah, I think and I want to take a moment to talk about Bradley Cooper as Stanton Carlyle, and I think that he played this character super well. Like I didn't ever get a strong sense about him being like honest or be like I think he just played it really well, because I couldn't tell if he was being genuine at times, and it seemed very heartfelt and genuine, but I think that's the beauty of the character of how he played it, was you just never really knew if he was being genuine or not, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good casting too, because I think he's a very skilled actor, but there is something kind of cold and calculated and a little bit slimy about Bradley Cooper that just sort of fit really nicely into this role. And so that there's sort of like this subtext of like, is this Bradley Cooper the actor, or is this the character, which allows you to kind of stay off balance during the performance until finally you kind of get the reveal of who he really is.
Yeah, and I thought that, I just think it's a great performance from him. Ravenshaw, you're applauding. You a big fan of Bradley Cooper?
I love BC, man. You know this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect your king.
Your king.
I I love BC since fucking Wet Hot American Summer, back in the day.
Yeah.
And that was a weird turn. But no, and who the fuck that? And once again, he's the dude that should have been Hal Jordan. Spoiler alert. DC, this was your Hal Jordan, guys. And you fucked that up. But the fact that he fucking voiced the fucking raccoon, and goddamn that raccoon has fucking some personality. But I love Bradley Cooper very, very much. And I've never seen him in a bad performance. So I completely adored him. And even funny enough, like, I know we probably talked about it last week, but why I'm like, this dude looks kind of like Bradley Cooper. Like, he didn't scream that when he came on screen in that raining scene and when we first meet the character that he is. And I love his evolution from the Telltale Heart opening intro to Carney stuff, to him being in that world, and then him the TCHJ to then Electro Girl dynamic. Like, his progression was really interesting, and I love the actor, and I thought he did a great performance in this movie.
Yeah,
just throwing it up.
No, I agree, and he went through some different phases in a sense, where at the very beginning, and then in the carnival as he was sort of learning, and then afterwards being the, I guess, mentalist. Would that be the correct term for what he was doing? And being a showman, I guess. And like, I love the whole presentation with the with the bandana, or not bandana, but with the cloth over his eyes with the eye, and just a really cool presentation. And and he's a super interesting character, like, especially in that scene when they're in the carnival still, when he's like kind of like getting Molly to warm up to him. The whole thing where he he draws the electric chair, and that whole bit with her, I thought was super well done. And you kind of like feel for her, because like, there's a sense that, all right, well, maybe he's not quite being honest with you here, and there's something a little off. But she has she is just kind of like taken by this, and someone really showing her this attention and this care that she probably hadn't had previously. So it's just kind of like, it's scummy, and it's like, oh god, like like, you could tell something's up, but it's almost seems genuine at times. And I liked a lot of the interactions there with Rooney Mara's character at the beginning with Molly, and even the stuff with Pete, played by David Strathairn. The stuff with him, and as he's learning from him, I thought that was super cool as well.
Well, he's so good. I mean, Good Night and Good Luck, Sopranos. I know the guy's been in a bunch of things, but I love this chain smoking.
Of course you do.
You felt so represented on screen. You're like, now I get it. You
like,
gotta see it to be it. Yeah.
Diversity. But I'm still a mark for the outsider that, regardless of how they found their way into a community, thrives. I love that, and Cooper's character definitely did that. I'm hesitant to go how much far we want to discuss.
Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
I was gonna say, going back to that scene where you're talking about his like sort of seduction and the chair and everything, I think like that's kind of the crux of the tragedy of that character, is because he is kind of two people. He is that person. He has that promise. He has that panache, as Tony Collette of handjob fame described him.
Handjob fame.
But there's also this sort of gaping hole in him that is tied to this other part of him, and like his need to connect with these father figures, that because of that, he can never fill that space within himself. The other sort of like the light side, the good side of him, will never be able to, he'll never fully be that person, because always gnawing away at him is this other side, this emptiness that he has from this childhood trauma, and which I won't spoil because I know we're not spoiling, but and I think he's both of those people, and I think it's interesting that one of the very first things we see him do after that house is to go, or where he meets the geek specifically, is to go into a house of mirrors and to see, he sees all these versions of himself. He's standing in front of the greed mirror at one point, and then he also sees the geek, which, without going into spoilers, is a bit of a mirror in terms of some thematic things, we'll say. And I think it's kind of a tale of two stands throughout this film. And Bradley Cooper is able to kind of embody both of those people and create the kind of tension that feels like you can watch him making bad decisions and hate him for it, but also like your heart kind of breaks for him because you see the other side.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, despite him being kind of scummy at times and duplicitous, it's, he in a sense is a victim of his experiences and his trauma and everything that goes with that. So, yeah, I mean, in a way, I think we can all identify and understand. But, there's also the idea of kind of moving beyond that and trying to be a better person. And, and at least in points of this, he doesn't seem like he's very interested in that. But, but it's one of those things that sometimes also you don't necessarily realize what you're doing. You could be very self-focused to the point where you're only thinking about doing what's good for you and how that not looking at how it could hurt others. So yeah, I think it is a very sort of varied role in he does kind of play two characters in a sense. But yeah, I think it's and this is a movie that I definitely would like to see multiple times because, as you said, Rachel, I didn't necessarily even make those connections that you just made about when he first enters the carnival and seeing the geek and the House of Mirrors. Like there's definitely a lot to unpack in this, and there's a lot of really great visuals. And that's Guillermo's stuff is typically dense with that, and this one seems like. I think once you get the film in its entirety, I think you can probably pick up on more stuff as you watch it again and kind of see some of the foreshadowing and things that are seeded earlier in the film.
Definitely.
I mean, I love the scene when the geek got loose and they were like, "Oh, go get the geek," and the guy was like, "Oh, you go in there. You go in there. I'll come around the back."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, listen, man, I know you're fucking having a hard time. I got no problem with you. I'm not going to fucking rat on you." But the geek fucking threw a punch. You know what I mean? Like, and Bradley Cooper wasn't going to out anybody. He wasn't going to do that. He legitimately wanted to care about this guy. Or at least, maybe not care, but at least he's like, "Hey, listen, man, just don't put a fight." And the dude fucking punched him. And shit like that, but
well, I mean, you see the two sides of him in that very scene right there, where he starts off kind of coming from a place of compassion, and then when he gets hit, it's just like Slapjack City.
Yeah,
and they have to kind of pull him off. Like he leans into like that darker side of himself and that duality.
Yeah, and that's when Willem Dafoe's character Clem comes in, and he's like, "You're gonna kill him," like. So yeah, it is sort of there is an element of that where he does kind of like toggle between the two, even in scenes like that. And I did look up, and I wanted to get the Oscar nominations, and so this was nominated for Best Picture of the Year, also Best Achievement in Production Design, which absolutely, Best Achievement in Costume Design. And Best Achievement in Cinematography, all absolutely. Like, there's no question about those.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just, overall, I mean, the attention to detail that Guillermo Del Toro has is, like, second to none. Like, I feel like every aspect of this was well thought out. And just the costumes, like, I feel like I'm teleported or transported to this era. And... obviously I know that there's a lot of period pieces that's what they do, and you have to do that. But I feel like there's extra care paid to a lot of the details in Guillermo del Toro's films. right down to like looking at when he's at the Department of Health and he's looking through the death certificates. Like even there is like it looks legit. It's like weathered and worn, and the way, like things like that. I think there's just a lot of care given to everything, and it's really impressive. And he should be nominated for shit like this because there's a lot of directors that put a lot of care into things, but I feel like his is just goes the extra mile in a lot of these.
I love the way he incorporates architecture into like thematically into the film. Like when they're in the hotel room and he's making these decisions about whether or not he's going to do the spook show. He's standing in front of these doors that have these Art Deco spirals in front of them as he's spiraling deeper and deeper into the labyrinth. And then when in sort of a penultimate scene, I won't talk about what's happening there, but he's like lost at this point and they're essentially in a garden labyrinth. Like the way that it ties visually on screen in subtle ways to what is actually internally happening with the character, I think is really brilliant in this film. And I think a second watch, as you like, it's something to pay attention to, like how is he framed and what are the shapes of the architecture and the placement that he is, because they are like clues and insights into like the internal life of Bradley Cooper at that point.
Yeah, and that stuff's fucking great. Like, if you can pick up on those cues, it just adds in such a deeper element to really understand. And I think inherently, even if you don't pick up on the details, like you don't call them out, like I just think inherently it's like a visual language that we know. So
subconscious.
Yeah, exactly. So even if you don't pick up on it and or like, oh, I love that scene where this happened and this happened, these are cues that subconsciously we pick up on. And I think that's it just adds such a deeper element to his work and films in general. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. When you think of like the spatial kind of setup of Cate Blanchett's character, when we get into her office, the way that it is long and narrow, it plays with space in a way that creates kind of like a sense of the uncanny, that it tells you like it creates a tension and a feeling, sort of like a subtle feeling of discomfort and dread inside that room, which is, kind of a warning sign. And she wears like all this beautiful things, like, she's a femme fatale, right? And she's reptilian and sensual in a way that is like all warning signs, but also everything around her and like the beauty of it feels like snake markings to warn you of like a venomous snake, but he doesn't see it. But as an audience member, like you said, subconsciously, like it creates, the space is so strange that it feels off and wrong and dangerous in a way that it shows like the mastery of Guillermo Del Toro. Guillermo. Sorry, I had a Del Toro glitch, but I'm back. I'm
in. Oh, shit. Well, has Benicio ever been in one of his movies? Because if not, that needs to happen. Like I'm trying to remember. I don't think he has been.
No.
We need to have a Del Toro Del Toro double team at some point here.
I think the closest we're gonna get is Benicio as the Wolf Boy and Big Top Pee-wee.
Holy shit! Oh my God! Really?
Deep cut.
I haven't seen that movie. Like last time I saw it, I probably didn't know who Benicio Del Toro was.
No way, man. Yeah, totally.
Holy shit!
I hope you get
did
to
you know
ask that at like a trivia night.
Yeah. Did you know that, Red Shadow?
Wait, what?
Benicio Del Toro was in Big Top Pee-wee, or Pee-wee's Big Top, I mean.
You know what? I rented Pee-wee's Big Top Pee-wee, but I feel that I never really watched it.
Oh, big surprise. What a shocker.
I mean, nobody did.
I was a pup. I was probably 12 or 13. But I'm like, there's no bicycle in this. That's weird. But I was fucking 12 or 13, man. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do?
Oh, yeah, that's him. I'm looking at the picture. Holy shit. That fucking...
Right, well, I guess I can go now. My picture is done.
But then again, who would have thought that fucking Larry Fish was fucking in fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse and fucking, Fucking Saturday Night Live was in that too.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday Night Live was in that too.
And we're having another 227 moment right now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for that. Thank you. His wife shot him.
Oh my God.
Phil Hartman.
Thank you, Phil Hartman. I mean, I wasn't there.
You
Allegedly.
sure? Yeah. You sure about that?
Yeah.
We need to hook you up to the fucking lie detector test.
And it sucks. They don't hook me up to anything, man. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm Italian. But that sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's a film noir all on its own.
Yeah.
Creepy Girl commented and said, he is a guy who takes pride in his work. He always is meticulous. He is a true fan of horror and movies, so his heart and soul is in his work.
Right on, creepy girl.
Yeah, totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Our Denny commented on Facebook. He says, the show is gorgeous tonight. Sure as hell I talked about me or Raven Shadow.
I know.
I don't know. I heard some tales of some calves and thighs before the show. He could be talking about you.
What was this Raven Shadow? I stepped away for a few minutes. What the hell?
I believe elephantine was an adjective. I don't know.
What? I'm going to go back and listen to the tape, Raven Shadow.
Again, Patreon content. We're making it happen tonight.
You have some very powerful thighs.
Have you ever seen my thighs? What the hell?
Yes. Yes. Yes, I have.
You've been staring. I haven't shown them to you.
No,
Apparently, he's also hacking your computer.
Yeah, right. He can't even fucking unlock his phone.
Rachel, he wore really short shorts earlier on.
I didn't wear no. Really short shorts. I've never had really short shorts.
You were very. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something about yourself, okay?
Please tell me something about myself.
I'm gonna tell you something about you. I'm gonna say it in front of Joe and in front of all the listeners.
I'll be the witness. Yes.
Thank you. Can I get a witness, Rachel?
Right here.
All right. That's a hell yeah. You have very strong thighs. You always have.
Okay.
You've always had that, and that's very impressive. And I'm saying that you, because you'd wear the shorts and you'd have like the long johns underneath. You know what I mean? Back in the day. But no, I'm impressed by what you have going on.
Well, to be fair, Raven Shadow, you do have kind of chicken legs. So anyone with like a little meat in their bones would.
Well, to be
wow,
fair,
shots fired.
That's I'm clearly giving you a compliment.
Violence in the Southern Hemisphere all over the place tonight.
Rachel, listen, you think it's easy? Can I join fucking the Zombie Girl podcast, please?
Yes.
You are not a girl.
There's room for another spinoff. Let's make it happen.
Is it going to be the Steamy Thighs podcast?
Mm-hmm. We'll give it like 10, 3 chafes out of 10 or something like that. Yeah, that'll be the rating system.
I just feel that you have powerful gams, and then you insulted me, and that hurts my feelings.
I didn't insult you, Raven Shadow. You're 120 pounds soaking wet holding a Yugo.
Rachel, that sounds like an insult, doesn't it?
It's not.
He chose violence tonight. My goodness.
You literally are the skinniest dude I've ever met.
Yeah, without cancer, as of now.
Jesus Christ.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, well, close your eyes, I'll be your Superman. You know what I mean? Like, you like Skid Row. But no, I think I was trying to put your legs over because they're fucking nice. I've seen you in shorts. But I think
this is getting creepy now. Jesus.
Weird.
You know what, Raven Shadow? You know what, Raven Shadow? Thank you.
What?
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
This is beautiful. This
we
is
have
a beautiful moment.
KT Cat P, Cat the wife. I'm not sure what to refer to Cat as, but Cat in the chat room says Rachel's laugh is the best thing ever.
Thank you. That's very kind. Now I'm very self-conscious, but okay. Thank you. All these compliments. I'm gonna
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
it's
except for one
I
guy.
came here to be insulted. I did not come here to be complimented.
yeah, yeah. She's like, "Where the fuck is Aries? This sucks." I wanted to
No one is
argue.
burning a hole into my soul with disproving stare tonight.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't mention. We don't even know where Aries is. By the way, we were about to start, and he's like, "I can't make it." Oh, all right. I don't know if he's like literally tied up. Is he like stuck in a fucking snow pile? I don't know.
Yeah. And here I was with my $10-est bottle of Irish whiskey that I thought we were going to share tonight. And
I even told him that you were going to buy some Irish whiskey. Man, like unbelievable.
You've let all of Ireland down. I hope you're happy, Aries.
Evil Corny says, "Did Raven Shadow see your legs on your vegan thighs OnlyFans, Wolfie?"
It's been a long fucking 20 years.
Corny, you're not supposed to tell people about that. It's for OnlyFans.
There's a reason why we all know fucking Monster Zero's balls are enormous. Like I don't want to tell them racial earmuffs, but
Okay.
But like, enough nothing. You got some nice fucking gams in the back over there. It's fine.
Some gams.
Yeah. I'm giving you a compliment, and you're calling me skinny. Well, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, the OnlyFans is hot gams, no hams.
Hot gams, no hams. That's trademark that right now. Hotgamsnohams.com is available. Raven Shadow, we got rid of biginthepants.com, and we're gonna get no gams, hot gams, no hams instead. Sorry.
Hot gams, no hands. Yeah.
First time Mike popped in and said, "The evening family looks like I walked into a cringe moment."
We just call that Trick or Treat Radio.
Yeah. EF says, "No cringe at all, FTM. Raven Shadow was simply implying that Johnny was the inspiration for the character of Xenia Onatop in GoldenEye."
Oh my God, someone with Photoshop skills, make this happen immediately. You have failed the internet if this does not materialize by the end of the show.
Oh God. This is what happens when Aries isn't here. It's just like, three of us, like by default, somebody has to get made fun of. So this makes for some. What's that, Raven Shadow?
I'm literally putting you over.
And I said thank you.
No, but you make fun of me and call me a motherfucker in front of Rachel.
In front of company.
I didn't make fun of you. You're a skinny dude.
Thank you.
See? Compliment.
It's not a compliment.
It's fact. It's a
Tell
fact.
me my shirt looks nice. Tell me like the new light bulb in the studio that Corny gets so worried about.
Okay, Raven Shadow. Hold on. Raven Shadow, I really like the lighting in the studio.
Yeah, looks good.
It's very warm and intimate.
Inviting
even, yes.
How's my hair look?
I can't really see it. It's
Silky.
a little far away.
Glossy. Luxurious.
Thank you, Rich. Thank
Welcome.
You know what? MZ looks very handsome in that picture. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I see that. I'm just like, R.I.P. Like, what is this? Memorial photo.
Yeah, it is a memorial photo.
Large March.
Large March. Yeah, tell him Large March sent you.
March subject.
Speaking of Pee Wee.
You're right.
Listen, you have some very nice calves, dude. I'm just saying that.
Shapely. That's what I hear.
Well,
that's the word on the street.
I appreciate that. It's sort of genetic. I had like huge calves before I even started working out Raven Shadow, so it's not all hard work.
I'm saying they're impressive. I think I'll speak for you. Whereas
please don't speak for me. All right, let's get back to the movie, Ray. This is getting a little awkward. All right.
Okay. I mean, not for me. I'm having the best time. Yeah. I just want to see where this goes. Hold on, I need to get some kale chips.
Oh man, getting some content for the OnlyFans. What did
Yes.
what did Evil Corny call it? Vegan thighs only fans. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
All right, I don't even know where the fuck we were. We're talking about this movie.
Um, let's see. I think we had started talking about Kate Blanchett's character a little bit. And I know we
Yeah.
sung the praises of one Bradley Cooper, but what did you guys think of sort of? I would argue that Bradley Cooper is his own foil, but ostensibly the foil of the film. Our femme fatale. What do you guys think about her?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, like I really enjoy Kate Blanchett, and I think she played this role so well, and it was, one of those roles where you don't quite know, like you said. I mean, you kind of get the sense that there's something sort of like going on with her, but she plays it so well that it's you're not quite sure if that's the direction they're going at first. But no, I loved her in this, and I generally like her in almost anything, but I think that she played this perfectly and was a very good femme fatale, as was mentioned. So no, I think it's great.
Yeah, she's like a coiled snake through this whole thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
And
it.
in the best way, So when, there's like catharsis when she finally strikes, you're like, yes, here it comes.
Yeah. In the chat, first time Mike says, I like the MZ Memorial headshot.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't know what was a reference to, but he said, great minds think alike, Rachel. First time Mike said that.
Oh.
And Kat says, next to Rachel, not in front of. Next to Rachel, not in front of.
I guess you should do these things next to me? I don't know.
I don't know.
Does that mean I get to be the judge of the chicken leg versus elephantine leg contest? Perhaps. I don't know. That's probably not what she meant. I'm just volunteering for myself for things nobody wants.
It's so funny when reading the chat sort of like a minute or two later, like I sometimes forget what was said, so I don't know what it was necessarily in reference to. But
remix.
And Kat says the posters are perfectly lined up. I think she's talking about your posters, Raven Shadow.
No respect.
All right, so I guess we're getting to the point where, obviously we don't want to talk about too much in terms of spoiler territory. But the other thing I wanted to mention also is I feel like Guillermo Del Toro always has a great score in his films, and I think that this one totally fit the bill, and it is absolutely a great score done by Nathan Johnson. I didn't recognize his name right off the bat, but he has scored a bunch of movies that I've seen, so I know that I've definitely heard his music before. He did Knives Out, he did Brick, he did Looper.
Oh, interesting.
He's also done some video game work. He did Infamous Second Son, so he did the sequel to the original. He's done some other stuff here, The Brothers Bloom and a few other things, but pretty big gig for him, I'd say. I mean, obviously, Knives Out was a big one, but good for him. But yeah, I really dug the score in this as well. I think it was super fitting and really well executed.
Yeah, it's very cinematic.
Yeah.
I think this movie as a whole is just kind of movie magic, like all of the spectacle, all of the glam. Like it's obviously sort of an old Hollywood set film, but I think it also kind of is an homage and a love letter to that film period. And I think the music complements that because it does kind of put you in that place of being in that time period.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe this is a good opportunity for you to talk a little bit about, I know you said you didn't get a chance to watch the Nightmare Alley from 1947, but from what you read, because Raven Shadow and I haven't seen the 1947 version either, but from what you understand, how similar are these films, if at all?
They're largely similar, but there's some character differences I think that stand out the most for Stan. Like he's far more villainous in this version. And there's some plot spoilers in this. I don't know how careful you want me to be, but there is a death that is kind of somewhat ambiguous in this, and it is much less so in the 1947
Gotcha.
film where it was an accident essentially, whereas in this it's kind of unclear.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
His treatment of Molly is very different in terms of he doesn't break her trust, let's just say. I'm trying to speak very ambiguously.
Yeah.
And the final beat of the film is less grim. He ends up in the same place, but Molly is also there, and it kind of gives you the sense that there is a repeating sort of pattern of relationships similar to one from Toni Collette's handjob and her partner. Whereas this leaves him in a much more nihilistic and grim place. I personally, because I was curious to see how Guillermo would modernize this, because it is a neo-noir. I wanted to see like in what places he would adhere to the formula of film noir, and I think he definitely did that, obviously, with the femme fatale and the twist and yada yada. But where I thought it was interesting were the places he decided to make changes were like all around a deeper indictment of the Stan character.
Mm-hmm.
I think he takes a less kind view of him, and I think what he's unpacking here has to do a lot with masculinity and entitlement, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
That this is the place where he decided to kind of play with the story. And that he made him less sympathetic, I think is really interesting. It's hard to talk about this because I don't want to be a spoiler.
Yeah, no, I get it. I gotcha.
And like the end is all I'm thinking about and want to talk about, but I know I can't do it.
I know. But that is good to get that perspective, though. I definitely would like to check out the 1947 film.
Oh yeah.
And it does seem, I mean, if we think back to 1947, well, yeah, all the way back, we all remember 1947. But I guess what I mean is, I think we live in more grim times now, or it could have,
You mean more grim times?
You're gonna, of course, you're
like
gonna bring up the Nazis.
World's villain is kind of on the rebound,
I guess what
There's
I mean
some parallels.
is, yeah, there's definitely some parallels. I guess what I mean is, and I knew you were gonna bring up fucking Germany 1942 Raven Shadow, because you hate all Germans, because of course they all are related to Hitler apparently. But
I don't hate Germans. I'm just saying that their language is scary. And
Scheiße.
Scheiße Soze.
Scheiße Soze.
That's the little film I'm working on.
Would
Everything is scary in Germany, and I'm not saying they didn't listen. We'll give it away, that record. But no, I know some amazing German people who don't butcher people.
Yeah, like none of them now. Jesus Christ.
None of them.
That's like saying, are you saying that all Imperials are bad people?
All Imperials?
Yeah.
What, Finn? All right, there was Finn. He's like the good Samaritan, or the bad Samaritan. And to be fair, weren't all the Samaritans dicks?
Sumerians.
Not the good Sumerians. Is that who Conan was from?
Good Sumerians.
What in the Mesopotamia is happening?
Where's there?
Wow. The good Sumerians. I like it.
Samaritans, there was like one good one, because they were all dicks, right?
What is going
That's
on?
Samaritan?
Yeah, Samaritan.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. I'm with you. We're now.
Thank you, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, you want to guest?
What?
Shh, just hush. I'm talking to Rachel.
Yeah, no one heard you though.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think we should do a podcast.
Okay.
Oh, you want her to do another one and carry your ass?
I would do it for you. Only for you.
I think it'd be outrageous.
It would be outrageous.
I gave this 4 hot thighs out of 5, Raven Shadow.
Man.
The no chafe zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the no chafe zone.
That's the name of the podcast.
Oh man.
I can't look here.
Aries is gonna be pissed he missed this episode.
He sucks. And where the fuck is he?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Let's send him a pizza.
Yeah.
Is there prank calling abilities on this on your board? Let's do it.
Let me catch up on the chat room real quick. So first time, Mike, what he meant was when he said "gray minds think alike" was that he typed that about MZ's headshot at the same time that you talked about it.
Brainwave.
EF says, I've been pro Blanchett ever since she held open a door for me at a screening of Notes on a Scandal. That he
All right, we got a big deal in the
Wow,
chat. Okay.
yeah.
Rubbing elbows with the celebs.
And let's see. Last Girl says, you should definitely watch the original. It's really great. And Kat says, the Russian language is scarier than German.
До свидания.
What do you think
You
about
now know the 2 words that I know.
What do you think of that, Raven Shadow?
I don't know. I mean, wie geht's in der Heidemogen? Der Watz is loose. You know, Ubermensch. You know,
Raven
Liebchen.
Shadow likes vodka too much to say that.
No. I mean, Gott and Himmel. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, nothing. I mean, once again.
Guten Morgen. What other
Yeah.
German do you know, Raven Shadow? Come on.
I'm not gonna say the other one I know.
No, you have to now.
No.
Okay. Then okay. We probably don't want
Ich
to hear
bin
it.
ein dein Ficken. That's the only thing I know.
It's just ein Berliner.
You know
yeah.
you know Du Hast, don't you?
Yes, I am a child of the 90s. I'm aware. I also owned the Crow soundtrack.
Wie geht's in der Heidemogen? Der Watz is loose. You know what I mean? Like. what I said.
You know what I mean, right? No.
No, I said wie geht's in der Heidemogen is how you're doing this morning, and the Watz is loose. The Hund. The dog is.
And you know Der Samurai because we watched that movie.
Der Samurai. No, once again, Liebchen. Yeah, I know that's X-Men. From Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler. Laura.
This has been a real roller coaster.
Yeah, this. I don't even know what this is.
It started with trauma bonding, then here we are. I love it.
I know. I think not hairy thighs. You're very streamlined, Wolfie. You could be a swimmer.
No,
You
I
look
couldn't. I couldn't. I fucking
yeah.
sink. I'm not a swimmer.
We would think very fast because you're aerodynamic.
I'm built for power, not speed. I'll tell you that.
Well, you were like a Kurt Swan drawing, but I picture you being very smooth, and I've seen your legs.
What the fuck? Why do you picture me smooth? What is going on here?
I've seen you smooth. We've been in a pool together.
This is the greatest day of my life.
It's the worst day of mine.
Telling me a motherfucker telling me I'm skinny. I know I'm skinny, but like
Yeah.
I respect you.
Thank you. First time Mike says, I give this movie a rating of stellar gams.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
FTM. All right. Fine.
All right. I think we're winding this down because we're talking more about gams than we are about Guillermo.
I feel like we're winding it
Raven Chow's winding something up. Jeez.
Oh, God.
We have a lot of great fodder for an episode title tonight, I'll tell you that much.
I cannot wait to see what it ends up with.
It's going to be hard to top the Good Sumerians.
Yeah, I feel like the list, like your thighs, is going to be very meaty.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank you, Rachel.
God. You guys are making me blush. It's too much. All right, so the movie, something about the movie. We watched the movie. It was fun. Yeah, okay, so I think we last talked about the score. And yeah, I think the just the great thing about Guillermo now and the fact that he can essentially do whatever the fuck he wants is he can make these grand, like, old school Hollywood films. Like, old school, what I mean is sort of like it feels like an old Hollywood film. It's got got great acting, it's got like great set design, everything, and it feels like there's a cohesive narrative. And I don't know, like, I feel like not cutting down like modern movies, but this feels like something you would have seen maybe done years ago, like more of a traditional way of making films. So, you know, and I mean, everything about it is outstanding. Like, whether or not, and I think you said this earlier, Rachel, but whether or not you actually like the film or you like, you know, the content of the film, it's
the narrative. Yeah.
It's absolutely impossible not to appreciate the art. And, you know, and that's the thing I think you can take away from all of Guillermo's films is, you know, it's just like, it's pure art. Like, they're so pretty to look at, like, it's just so well done, you know. And even like I've liked all of his films, but even a film like Crimson Peak, I know that was sort of his foray into more of this style. You know, it was more of like a gothic horror film, and I loved it, but I know a lot of people were kind of lukewarm on it because it wasn't super scary. It didn't have tons of like monsters like, you know, like Hellboy or Pan's Labyrinth. So I think people were a little let down, but it was sort of like a you know, a primer for where he would end up, and his foray into sort of this different style or a shift in his style. And, you know, I really enjoy that movie. So, you know, but I know some people that didn't.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. I feel like it's such an underrated film
Yeah.
because it comes back to this idea of, even if you don't like the narrative, he gives you so much to look at. How can you not be entertained? Are you not entertained? Those bleeding walls are iconic as far as I'm concerned. They're incredible.
Yeah.
And I think the power of Guillermo Del Toro, I keep trying to say Benicio, is that he has enough clout to make whatever he wants, and what he wants to make are very much outside the mainstream. And that, again, comes back to I was joking about him being goth Quentin Tarantino, but it's the same kind of thing where he can make these films and explore parts of the genre that are maybe not in vogue anymore, and a reminder of like why these things were once really great genres, like films noir or, you know,
Raven Shadow, did you see Crimson Peak?
No.
Had your boy in it, Charlie Hunnam.
I did with my boy. Yeah, Jax.
Speaking of gams,
I've never seen his game. I've seen your game.
I thought you've talked about Charlie Hunnam's ass on the show before.
Oh no, I've seen. Charlie Hunnam is the biggest BSO after Shawn Michaels.
BSO.
Yeah, butt show off.
BSO. Putting that in the dictionary. Okay. All right.
Butt show
It was
off.
it's like Shawn Michaels, Mel Gibson, and Charlie Hunnam.
What
the Walk in the Moonlight?
What about Billy Gunn? He's going to be on there, right?
Oh, he is an ass man.
Yeah, he is an ass man.
That's a little rude. But no,
Raven Shadow stands BSO.
BSO or GTFO. That's the Raven Shadow Creed.
Yeah. Do you know what GTFO means, Raven Shadow?
Get the fuck out. What?
Yeah, it does. You're right. You guessed and you're right. Look at you.
But no, there's a certain BS. No, it's not Rachel. This is some personal shit that Wolfie and I are going through right now.
Okay.
No.
I'm here to mediate. I'm here. I'm not going to take sides. I'm a neutral party. Lay it on me.
I could use your help with some other things I'm working on later on. You know what a BSO is, Wolfie. You know Shawn Michaels, the biggest BSO in professional wrestling, right?
Well, I don't think I've ever heard the term BSO, or if I have, I forgot.
We've always talked about. We would talk about that at Denny's.
I don't remember that.
Over a moon's over my hammy.
Talking about BSOs over moons over Miami.
Look, can I have a fucking, scram slam? By the way, Shawn Michaels shows his butt a lot, huh? That's weird.
All right, enough about BSOs. I think we should wind this down and maybe do a verdict. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up that we haven't yet before we head to a verdict? Chow, any more BSOs in this movie?
Oh, but I mean, like costumes, set pieces. I mean, so much of this was fucking beautiful. This is a beautiful picture, beautiful dark picture. And I love that you go along for the ride, and you don't know where shit's coming from. But
That's very true.
Done so well, and you're like, oh shit, it's good. You watch in 45 minutes, and like, oh, there's a guy getting a new job. But no, where is it going? And I loved the look of this film, the rain, the weather, the costumes. Like,
yeah,
it's fucking Guillermo Del Toro, right?
Yeah, the world building. I mean, that's like. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
No, but I would pass the baton to you, Rachel.
No. I'm not going to let you. All the pearls must be thrown before these swine. Let's hear them.
No, I've covered the swine. Why don't you deal with the pearl?
Always back to the thick thighs. Yeah, so I think one of his greatest gifts as a filmmaker is the world building, whether he's building a world in like Victorian England or, Troll Market, or in this case, 1940s Midwest, I think, is that he does sort of plunk you down in a very fleshed out, very populated, very finalized and like substantial world. And he does it in the carnival, and he manages to do it to a lesser degree because I think intentionally it's meant to be sort of cold and bereft, sort of in the elite portion of the film. But I just think again, like you said, you can sit through a 2.5 hour film noir by Guillermo Del Toro because you're kind of a voyeur in a world that he's built.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I could totally get on board with that. EF Contentment says, has anyone watched the black and white presentation that played in theaters recently? I've only seen that version. I have no idea how it looks in color, but it really does feel like something from the 1940s. And he says, you could have fooled me into thinking someone else directed it were it not for Ron Perlman in the cast. That's interesting. I would like to check this. I only saw it in color because I think the black and white's only available in theaters, but I would like to eventually watch this in black and white just to see. I just feel it's so beautiful in color that, maybe it takes on a different feel in black and white, but I feel like it's just such a beautiful film in color that I thought it was an interesting decision to put it into black and white. But, it probably takes on has that more of the neo-noir kind of feel to it, and maybe it gives it a slightly different flavor, when you watch it that way. So, yeah, I'd be interested in checking that out. And Evil Corny also says, way to forget about Chris Evans, Raven Shadow.
Ooh.
Is he a BSO?
No.
I mean, that's America's ass.
It's true.
It is America's ass. Thank you, Rachel. And aside from not another teen movie. But no, he's not. No, like the biggest BSOs of all time, like Mel Gibson, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, you keep saying.
I would say John Cena post Peacemaker. I've seen them hams a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen both them cakes a lot.
That is true.
Oh, he's
very mad about it too. Very angry.
He's more tiny white. Tiny white.
Tidy
What do you
whitey.
call it? Tiny whiteys. He's more front end, but I think I'm talking more the back end.
Although we did get a glimpse of Bradley Cooper's Raven Shadow in this.
Yeah, that's fun. Oh, show every. I mean, I think we're at a point now. Like, show the D, show the V, show everything. Have fun.
Yeah. What would you call that? Someone who shows off the front part Raven Shadow. You got butt show off. What would he be?
It'll be a BDO.
BDO. A BDO.
Yeah.
And what does that stand for?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's a weird thing where you can't be at full power. That's what's fucked up. If you're at full power, it's wrong to show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
Racial, right?
I mean, like morally or in terms of ratings?
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry. And because, like, you can't be at. It's just. Like a fucking. You know what I mean? Like.
This is the weirdest conversation.
I got my earmuffs on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's wrong. It's wrong. Like, why can't they show D's like they do other things? Show the
Right.
Is that rhetorical? And you're looking for an answer here?
Like, I'm saying, like, if you're gonna show a D, show a D. But D at give the whole gamut.
I feel like Raven Shadow is like. I feel like this whole episode you've been like laying on the couch and like telling us your innermost feelings and thoughts, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, let's have fun. Let's have fun. We only have so much time on this planet. Show everything. Let's just have
You want
fun.
a full range of emotion, is what you're saying.
Right. Then why hide it? Why hide things? Have fun.
All right.
Sorry.
And on that note, I think maybe we'll head to the verdict, and we'll find out what everyone thought about the movie.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it's verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Nightmare Alley was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have. Let's start with our guest co-host, Rachel.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear where my opinion's going to be. This is definitely a treat. It is a treat for your eyeballs. It is. You have to be willing to kind of give yourself over to this film because it has quite a runtime. It does require a commitment, and it is, even though we didn't spoil the ending, emotionally expensive. It is not for when you're down on feeling down to pop this on. But if you love cinema, and if you are not afraid to go to dark places in your cinema, which I'm guessing if you're listening to the show, that's you, I think you're going to find that this is definitely a treat. Yeah.
All right. How about you, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, man. It's Guillermo Del Toro, right? Like, I mean, like, what gave it away? What?
No, it's Benicio Del Toro.
Yeah, it's Benicio. Yeah. Give me the keys, you motherfucker. What the fuck?
Yeah, give me the keys, you motherfucker. What the fuck?
The fuck? Once again, there's a handful of actors like Benicio Del Toro, who played fucking Venom and fucking Locke.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. These guys, like, they speak English, but we don't know what the fuck they're saying. But they're great. But no, Guillermo Del Toro, the great Guillermo Del Toro. This is a masterpiece of production design. I love everything this dude does, whether he's making Hellboy, fucking, earlier shit to whatever. I'm down with whatever he does, and please check this out. I may watch this again. I'm off on Monday.
Wow, you're gonna watch a 2.5 hour movie more than once.
I think I may.
Impressive.
Yeah. Most impressive, John.
Yes. Most impressive.
And treat.
All right. So treats all around so far. And for me, if big surprise, also a big time treat for me. I really love this movie, and it is just gorgeous to look at. Some great performances. And I mean, he does it again, like Shape of Water won an Oscar. Like, he could be on his way to another Oscar here. And the thing I love is that he's like, you know, he's one of us. Like, he is a huge fan of genre cinema, and it's very clear in what he does. But you know, he doesn't compromise his vision, and that's what's so great about it. There, you know, he'll still go brutal if he needs to at times, and you know, and do just what fits the narrative best. You know, not kind of tone it down too much, even though he is definitely have a slightly more wide appeal to his films now. But man, it's gorgeous to look at, and it's just a great film. So. Yeah, big time treat for me on this one. So you guys should definitely check out Guillermo Del Toro's latest, Nightmare Alley. And it is currently streaming on Hulu and HBO Max. So if you have either one of those services, you can check it out. It's also still playing in theaters. I believe it's maybe just the black and white version. I don't know if it is also in color, but it's out there. It's available for you to check out, and I'm sure it'll be hitting VOD and DVD Blu-ray soon as well. So keep an eye out for that. All right, well, that is going to wrap up our discussion of Nightmare Alley. Treats all around. You guys should check out the film if you haven't already. Mm-hmm. And we do have a few voicemail, but before we head to those, I want to talk about next week, because next week is episode 500. It is a milestone, I suppose. As we get higher in the milestones, they don't seem as important, but 500 seems like it's pretty important, I guess, right? It's a big number, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, a lot of zeros.
The true hallmark of a big number.
I guess two. I guess it's two of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
No, but seriously, that's so impressive, you guys. 500 is no joke. That is a lot of hours and a lot of effort, and you should be really proud of yourselves.
Thank you. It's a lot of effort not to kill each other. Although now
I didn't say what kind of effort. I just said a lot of effort.
Although it's just down to Raven Shadow and I now, so war of attrition, I think.
I've run off 2 hosts.
Yeah, it's true.
Who's next?
Yeah, Rachel the host killer.
Yeah, it's interesting that he disappeared right before I showed up.
Yeah.
We were never in the same place at the same time, or were we?
Aries is totally scared of you. I will speak for him on this.
What? I don't believe
Maybe
it.
intimidated.
He's a lot talking to Beard.
EF says 500 is my pulse after observing Wolfie's thighs.
You know what? Look at him. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm lying? You think I'm making it up?
The legs are suffering, Raven Shadow, because I haven't been going to the gym. I've just been using the home gym here. So,
well, I don't believe it. I remember what it looked like in.
Yeah, before I worked out, I guess. Yeah.
Are you nice? Don't let them fucking fool you. Fucking.
All right. So, anyways, I think we have some voice messages.
I'm paying you a compliment like a gentleman, and you're fucking dismissing me.
I'm not dismissing you. I'm embarrassed, Raven Shadow. I'm embarrassed. Okay.
No.
No. Okay, I'm not. Well, let's talk about episode 500. Okay, enough about thighs. Episode 500. So we've been, it was
500.
500. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Oh my
So,
God.
anyways, I don't think I'm going to even be able to get all this out, but next week for episode 500, Raven Shadow, there you go. So for milestones, just trying to think about what to do, do something different, like as opposed to just doing the same old thing. So, we thought about what would be different. And one of those things is having everybody in the studio at the same time. Like that hasn't happened in a long time, right? Well, not everyone, but Raven Chow, you've been so lonely over there, haven't you?
So I'm so lonely.
You have only a like picture of Monster Zero to keep you company and Ollie.
Right, and one of those sucks.
And it's not Ollie.
But spoiler.
Oh God.
The Monster Zero photo. My dog.
So Raven Chow, how about this? Okay, so you got that photo of Monster Zero. What if you had the genuine article Monster Zero in the studio next week?
All right, what else do you have?
Oh my God.
Wow. All right, I guess I'll have to tell him the bad news. No, next week is the return of Monster Zero. One time only, well, we think, for Trick or Treat Radio. He is coming back for episode 500. He will be in the studio across from Raven Shadow with his back to the camera. And
thigh to thigh with all the
thigh
guys.
to thigh, yep. Raven Shadow.
Yeah.
Also, I got an extra bonus for you.
Wait, what? Bonus?
Bonus. An extra bonus. Also in studio next week, we're going to have Arkham Josh.
Holy shit.
So Arkham Josh, Monster Zero in the Lair of Lost Swag, Raven Chateau studio next week. You're not going to be alone, Raven Shadow, for a change.
Thank you. And everyone, just to be fair, everyone's COVID compliant. Everyone has their boosters and their shots.
Yep, it's
and
true.
we're doing all of us doing the vaccination checks when they come in.
And
knows.
So that's who we're going to have on. And for a movie, we're going to be doing a film with an interesting legacy. Next week, we're going to be talking about, we're kind of going back in time, although this is a new film, but it was initially made in 1985, never released. And our friends over at Vinegar Syndrome got a hold of the print, and they finished the movie. And it got a release last year. And the name of that movie is New York Ninja. I'm hoping we catch lightning in a barrel here, Raven Shadow, like with Miami Connection. It sounds like it could be in that vein, but we're going to be doing New York Ninja next week. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be obviously myself, Raven Shadow. We're going to have Monster Zero in studio, Arkham Josh in studio. I think we'll have Ares. But we'll see. We'll see if Ares shows up. But it's going to be awesome, and super looking forward to that. Raven Shadow, you're going to have someone to touch you. I know you've been waiting for that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I love those guys, but I wish it was somebody else. Just saying. But no, it's exciting. You know what we do? We're gonna be following the protocols. It'll be nice.
Yeah.
With the wipes down.
The wipes down. And Creepy Girl's excited. She says, "Woohoo! I'll be there." So excited for MZ. And Corny one. What's that?
Come over, Creepy Girl.
There you go. Yeah, Creepy Girl can come over too. And Evil Corny wants to know, will MZ and Josh pee in Raven Shadow shower?
Well, I know one will not. One's a rat wildebeest.
Yeah, because one's a gentleman and one's not. All right, so there you go. That's episode 500. If you, we didn't really think of sort of a gimmick for the voice messages, but I'd love to have people call and leave voice messages. You guys always come, out in force for the milestones. So, feel free to send in your, whatever, like favorite memories, moments, things like that, or you can roast us like we did for the last milestone. That was fun. Aries got really excited about being roasted. So whatever you guys want, feel free to send them in, and we'd love to hear from you guys. Podcast at trickortreatradio.com. So there you have it, episode 500 next week. Now, we do have some voice messages to get to. And actually, before we get to those, Rachel, you've been awfully gracious in hanging out thus far. Do you have the time to finish out, or do you have more important things to do?
I mean, those are two different things.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm happy to hang out. Yeah,
Okay.
I want to hear the voicemail.
All right, great. So we have a few voicemails here, and let me see. One of them I forgot to mark. Oh, okay, I know where this is from. Okay. So let's see. Why don't we check in first with Evil Corny and see what the evil one has to say this week.
Hey, guys. This week's film, Nightmare Alley, I really liked. I'm giving it a treat. I actually saw this in theaters. Probably the same day I saw Spider-Man No Way Home. But overall, I like this film a lot. It's a little bit different than the other Del Toro films just because it's not dealing with supernatural things. But overall, I like Del Toro as a director and really can't wait to see what he, directs next. You all have a good one. Evil Corny out. I like your lighting now, Raven Shadow, but can you get a little closer to the camera? That's my only critique for this week. You all have a good one.
Always a critic, Raven Shadow, huh?
He cracks me up.
He did compliment you, though. He likes your lighting. He was very critical of your lighting, but he complimented you.
I'm fucking trying, Corny. We got fucking a lamp.
We got fucking a lamp. I love lamp.
I don't do well under a lot of lighting. Like, put me under like a smoky neon beer light. I look all right, but like,
you need a St. Pauli girl neon light.
Yeah, I'm like a St. Pauli girl. But don't put me.
I've always said that. Yeah.
I am like a 6 foot St. Pauli girl. But no, in my hair. Like
you got the legs of a St. Pauli girl.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I just want to say I want credit for not making a legacy joke when you said it during your announcement. I've grown as a person during the runtime of this podcast.
Well, what was that, Ray?
I got long legs, but I'm not saying they're not skinny. But like, I mean, my legs are longer than yours, but your legs are very nice and full.
Oh my God!
And you should.
All right. Jesus Christ! Talk about beating a dead thigh.
Be proud of it. I've seen him. I've seen him.
Has anyone come through with that Photoshop yet? I'm still waiting.
Oh man! All right.
If I see you, I'm gonna write it. That's all I'm gonna say. All right.
All right. Well, let's check in with Creepy Girl and let's see what she has to say.
Hey, Creepy Girl here. Wanted to give my 2 cents about Nightmare Alley. Of course, you know by now that I love Guillermo. And saw the original a long time ago, saw it again. The original came out in the late 40s, but they had graphic scenes with the geek that they had to cut out, and then it actually got theatrically released maybe 10 years later, like in the later 50s. But the original is black and white, of course, and it's very film noir. The scene cuts are so jagged, but that's how they did movies back then. They actually, I think they released it on TV eventually too. Like back then though, like way long time ago, meaning. But the storyline is basically the same in the old one and the new one, except Guillermo added that little backstory to the main guy, and then there's a different ending, and the psychiatrist part was different. And that's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil it. So the new one, amazing sets, amazing costumes, beautiful, meticulous as usual for Guillermo. It's visually beautiful, of course. A lot of detail put into it. Uh, I'm not a big fan of Bradley Cooper, but he was really good in this. All the actors were amazing in this. My favorite, though, was the psychiatrist, which I can't think of her name right now. I think it was Kate Blanchett, maybe.
Yep, that's it.
I don't know. But I loved her part. It was amazing. She did an amazing job. But the storyline, it was so boring to me because I knew everything that was going to happen. I knew at the beginning what was going to happen at the end. I knew his backstory, like they acted like that was a big mystery reveal. It wasn't. You knew exactly what was going to happen. Like everything that happens in the story, it's like you know it's going to happen before it happens. And then there were things they put in the story and that you were kind of like, okay, why are they putting this in? Are they going to elaborate? No, they do not. And then it's just like, okay, why did you even put that in there? Now you got me thinking about that. I wish you would elaborate on that. But I mean, it's just kind of a bland story to me, and it's you kind of know where everything goes and where it ends. So it was an okay watch. I mean, like I said, visually it was appealing, and loved the psychiatrist lady. I just really loved that part. I wish they would have went more with the gangster guy. Like they should have stretched that part out. That's what I thought. But yeah, it was an okay watch for me. Bye. Love you guys.
All right, creepy girl. Always appreciate your insight. So thank you for the call, and glad, for the most part, you dug the movie. I would say, I hadn't seen the 1947 Nightmare Alley, so for me, I didn't necessarily. I mean, you can glean, where character arcs might be going, but I feel like they did a good job of kind of masking some things and still being somewhat surprised. So I think maybe seeing the 1947 version, like in a sense, did you a disservice because you knew what would happen. But I don't know. I mean, but everyone approaches these things differently, and and a lot of times, like especially Aries, when he watches movies, a lot of times he can guess what's going to happen next, and that can kind of ruin the discovery of things if you figure it out. So, I get that. Anyone else have any comments about Creepy Girl's message?
I mean, I think it's interesting. She kind of got at something we talked about, that there's still, even if the narrative doesn't work for you, there's still something in this movie. It kind of like proved our theory, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, let's go on to the last one, and we're going to hear from one of our guests next week, Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, Arkham Josh here. Just calling in, playing a little bit of catch-up. First off, this week's film, Nightmare Alley. I'd really been looking forward to checking this out. I was hoping to catch it in the theater, but I just didn't get the opportunity to. So I was glad to take the time to sit down and watch it this week, and I quite enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. It was actually a little more straightforward than I expected it to be based off the trailers and whatnot. And also, I haven't seen the original film or read the book, so I can't really comment on the previous materials or versions. But I thought the story was good. I thought the acting was good. Directing, of course, was fantastic. Everything looked amazing. So I'm going to say that Nightmare Alley is a definite treat and recommend. I was very, very, very much entertained, and I look forward to probably checking it out again sometime, especially if they release the black and white version. It's been playing around some places theatrically in a black and white version, and I would love to check that out if I got the chance. Okay, so I caught up on a couple of the other ones. I definitely watched last week's films. So the Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. I'm going to say it wasn't great, but it was fun, and I think of the handful of Resident Evil films I've seen, I think it's the best one. I haven't seen them all. I remember seeing the first one in the theater, and then one or two of the other ones along the way, and never being too thrilled with any of them. At least this one was a more enjoyable and entertaining viewing experience. I've never played any of the games, so I don't know anything about the games, but at least this one, it seemed more geared towards just telling a story in a movie. Still a little bit but overall I thought it had some good effects, especially the practical ones, and I don't know, it's a tepid treat, and one of those things where I'd recommend it if it pops up on a streaming service you're already paying for. And then Lady Terminator. I'm a big fan of Lady Terminator. This gave me a good excuse to rummage through some boxes upstairs and pull out the Mondo Macabro release. They did a great DVD of this years ago. I'm still hoping that they do a nice upgrade to Blu-ray. Yes, I know this film has its limitations, and yes, I know this film is nonsensical, but it is also fantastic. I love Lady Terminator and other similar kind of nonsensical films of the time, so that definitely gets a treat and a recommend. So, all right. I think that's all for now. I hope you guys are doing good. Hope to talk to you guys again real soon, and have a great night. Bye.
All right, Josh. I think Josh wasn't sure whether or not we're going to announce him coming on next week, which is why he didn't say anything. But Josh will be joining us in Raven Shadow's studio next week. So looking forward to that, and always love hearing Josh's thoughts on the film. And yeah, Lady Terminator. I think that's why Aries isn't here.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I like that narrative.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with you, but well, that's it for voice messages. Let me just double check. Actually, sometimes we get some stragglers late. I don't want to miss anyone here, but nope. I think that is it. So I think we'll start saying our goodbyes, Raven Shadow. What do you think of that? You never want this night to end, do you?
I don't. It's a bummer because when the night ends, tomorrow begins. That sucks.
And you have to get up at what, 5:30? Is it?
I don't want to talk about it, John. There's a lot of things.
Well, at least you sleep. At least you sleep through the night now better than you used to. We're proud of you.
I have, Rachel, since last you were on, I set my alarm clock for when I need to get up, not when I need to trick myself to get up. So it's
Ooh, talk about personal growth. Find yourself Thursday.
I'm trying to grow myself in lots of ways, but no. Thank you.
You're
so
a better man than I. I am a snooze-hitting garbage person, and I don't ever see that changing.
You know what's different though? Raven Shadow would set his alarm for an hour before he had to wake up.
Oh,
so
no.
that he would set it for later and be relieved for like a moment that he didn't actually have to wake up. That was his flaw.
I kind of get it though, because there's nothing better in the world than that when you have that panic, like, oh my God, I'm oversleeping for work, and you're like, oh no, it's Saturday. Back into bed. That's the best.
I love the Saturday feeling. Or it's like,
Oh.
it's like, 4:45. And it's like, 4:46, your alarm clock goes off. Like, it's like, fuck.
Wait, you set your alarm for 4:46?
I made up numbers. Wolfie, but like, whatever is the time you're going to wake up.
Numbers are a concept. They're a construct.
Yeah.
This sucks.
So, yeah. Speaking of numbers, big numbers, episode 500 next week. So we hope you guys come back and join us and hang out for the live show. If you guys have never checked out a live show, I would recommend coming next week. Should be interesting. Hopefully there's no technical issues beforehand and we can start close to on time. But it should be fun. So if you guys can join us, feel free to leave a voice message, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. And you can talk about whatever you want. films that we've turned you on to, best BSOs, Raven Shadow, right? Oh man!
Tonight was educational.
Yeah, I think Rachel's dictionary has grown quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think this qualifies as edutainment at this point.
Best BSO is Shawn Michaels, right? That's
Well, it depends on. I mean, it depends if you watched WWE in the late '90s, early 2000s. You know, if you didn't, then no.
Well, I did, but like, I mean,
well, you did, yes.
I'm telling you.
But you are the grand arbiter of BSO, so you have spoken.
You know, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, you know, everyone have fun, but like, I'm not into certain things, but like, I can respect a good BSO. And Shawn Michaels and Charlie Hunnam are probably the world's finest BSOs.
The world would be a more beautiful place if everyone had your open mind about BSOs.
I've never heard Raven Shadow and Open Mind to mention the same sentence before now.
I would. But apparently I have fucking chicken legs, fucking Johnny. I put your fucking thighs over for 3 hours. But you're making fun of me in front of Rachel. That's not fun.
I'm not making fun of you. You have skinny legs.
You're a
skinny dude.
Well, what give away my genetics?
So why is that? Why am I making fun of you? If it's fact.
Why don't you say I'm lean? You could say
you are. You're very lean, Raven Shadow.
Felt.
Yes. If you stand sideways, you look like a board.
right.
One step forward, 15 steps back.
Is that Raven Shadow number 1? What the fuck's going on over here? It's a hairy number 1.
Is that Raven Shadow or is that a street sign?
Hairy number 1. I got there.
I'm not there. I don't even know if I want to know.
Thank you.
Hairy number 1. Oh my God.
Well, you tell Rachel about the time you peed out a window, Raven Shadow, out of a screen window.
That's fucked up. Everything you're doing right now is wrong.
Was it an emergency, or was it a test of manhood, or was it just a passing fancy?
No, it was under the influence of pharmaceuticals.
And
I'm not proud of it, Rachel. You understand?
And am I correct in saying that you couldn't actually go to the bathroom? Was that part of it?
No, that was a different time.
Oh, okay.
That was
as in you couldn't go to the room, the bathroom, or you couldn't do the activity euphemism, the bathroom.
Now
you were in a room you shouldn't have been in. Isn't that?
No. What Johnny's doing is telling stories out of school right now, and he's.
You told it on the air before.
Yeah, but well, one was under an influence of things, and maybe they were in the time frame. There may have been some grown-ups upstairs, and you had to make a decision. One was a boat after a weekend of other things that were going on. Listen, the 90s, what are you going to do?
The 90s were the 70s of the 90s. It's true.
Well, yeah, so there might have been some certain...
So you are a serial urine defenestrator, is what I'm hearing.
I applaud the use of defenestrator.
Isn't that a great word?
Which I feel that isn't that the term of like breaking someone over a glass?
I think it's throwing something out a window.
Yeah, because there was a Hitman in the Six Pack, the Garth Ennis Hitman comic had a character called Defenestrator.
Yeah.
Would hit people with a broken glass pane. No, but listen, I've not been in a band or really gone to college, but I've partied like both. And I'm not proud of that, but like, I'm sorry, Rachel. Thank you for coming on. We should probably stop this. So thank you. Check out Rachel and Zombie Girls. She's so much smarter than Wolfie and I are. And see, this is what Wolfie does. He sets me up. And I put him over with his big thighs, and he's rude. So thank you. Check out Rachel for all the awesome stuff she does. For
Thanks, guys.
Stop. Listen, Johnny.
What?
Why don't you be a producer? No, stop it.
I am producing.
Yeah,
Producing some chuckles.
Good for you, Johnny. I'll tell some stories. Remember one time you... It sucks because he's so perfect, Rachel.
No, I'm not.
It's like hanging out with Clark Kent.
Somehow, I don't know if I buy that totally.
I don't wear glasses, Raven Shadow. Nothing
I mean,
like
that was
Clark
the
Kent.
giveaway.
Yeah.
You can wear the fake ones, but no, he's got big thighs. He's fucking...
Oh my god. This is ridiculous.
What did we decide that your OnlyFans was called? Like hot gams, no hams, or something?
I think I wrote that one down. Hold on. Yeah, hot gams, no hams.
You know, like really, literally the biggest complaint about Wolfie is that he's late. That's it.
Yep. Always. All right.
It takes a lot of effort to move them thighs. You gotta give him time. Give him time to get there. You're traveling light. He's traveling heavy.
Thank you, Rachel. Oh, shit.
Harry number 1 is the funniest thing I've heard in 2022. I can't stop thinking about it.
I don't. It went completely over my head. I feel like asking for an explanation will just ruin it.
Think about it, number 1, and it's Harry.
Yeah, no, like
he
Harry,
turns sideways. He turns to a Harry number 1.
And then number 1, like you're drawing number 1, like
I
I'm
can't
a Harry.
take it.
Okay. I got
it.
I thought it had to do with peeing. That's we were talking about peeing out a window, so.
One time, Rachel.
Yes.
Time to take. We'll talk offline.
Rachel's gonna need a shower after this fucking episode. Jesus Christ.
Apparently, if I walk under a window, I'm in danger.
No, it was about one like in school. It was a lot of. You had to be there. You shouldn't have been there. Don't. You're a better person than that. Don't be there.
I don't know. I'm feeling a little FOMO.
Apparently in the library, when you would turn the handle down, there was the thing.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
The library, you turn the handle down?
Yeah, they opened up like this.
Oh my God, what? Yeah, we're both like in disbelief. What are you fucking
I'm like,
talking
Baru? When you
at the library?
do the library.
Yeah. You the school.
Then you find the map on the back of the Declaration of Independence, and
we were talking about Nicolas Cage. And
it
all
takes
of a
you to
sudden?
the golden shower. What?
The desk. And like, oh yeah, the desk, the golden shower, yeah. Oh, but like yeah, those. Where's Aries?
Who knows? Who knows? He's not
I am
here.
very curious where Aries ended up. This is the mystery.
No snow out right now.
Yeah, I mean, if it was snowing, I could see because he has to plow, but no snow. So maybe he just got buried in a snow pile. Maybe he was doing snow angels and an avalanche covered him up. I could see him doing snow angels.
He's like no snow Ferratu.
No snow Ferratu.
Stop. I can't. My cheeks hurt. This is becoming physically abusive. You're too funny.
Snow Ferratu.
I don't even know what it is, but I love it.
Is that getting added to the dictionary?
Yeah. Yes.
What
It's part of the test. Like no Snoferatu and other necessary words.
That's going to be Aries' memoir.
Yeah, no Snoferatu.
All right, let's end on a high note or a low note, depending on your perspective, I guess. Oh, man. All right, Rachel, please tell the folks where they can find you and, social media, online, podcasts, whatever. Tell folks where they can find you.
Absolutely. So you can find, if you want to know about the Zombie Girls, come to our website, zombiegirls.com. That's GRRLZ. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ZG Podcasts, plural. That's where you can find out whenever our new episodes drop. And yeah, it's probably the best place to come hang out with us. We're not going to say things like no Snoferatu or Harry number 1, but we have our charms. There are some nice thighs somewhere on the pod. You'll have to listen to find out whose they are.
Maybe some BSOs.
Oh, there's definitely some BSOs. We have an ongoing conversation because one of my friends is a total nudist and I'm a never nude. And so we're like always battling out for who the weird one is. And it's definitely her.
Which side do you fall on, Raven Shadow?
It depends on the
company.
Yeah.
By and large, though, are you never nude or what? You nudist?
You get them chicken wings out.
Are you fucking me? No, in my house, I'll fucking walk around with I fucking pay the mortgage. I'll fucking walk around.
While you pay the mortgage?
Ollie don't.
Ollie doesn't wear any clothes.
No, he's got outfits. He has his outfits.
Do you dress up in outfits with Ollie?
No, he's got his coat. He's got a raincoat.
You guys got to go as Batman and Robin for some fucking Halloween sometime.
He does have a yellow cape that Marion made. But no. But yeah, I'm fearless when I'm here.
Is Ollie a BSO?
Well,
you have to look. You should know.
He's a dog. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But
All right. So everyone go check out Rachel's podcasts and also follow her on social media and check out the Zombie Girls website, especially for that VOD calendar. In addition to all the podcast content, more than you can handle. There's so much. So give it a listen, give it a look, and it was awesome having you on, Rachel. Again, thank you so much for joining us and for making us sound smarter.
Well, I don't know if I could top some of the things that happened tonight, but it's been so much fun. I love hanging out with you guys. I love talking movies with you guys. I love laughing with you guys. And I'm really flattered that you invited me to come back.
And we'll definitely do it again sometime soon. Amazing. So thank you so much. Now let's go around. Well, it's not really much to go around, but Raven Shadow, why don't you say goodbye?
No, Rachel, thank you so much for being on. You're killer. We're huge marks, and once again, I will speak for myself and say I'm sorry, but no, big ups to Zombie Girls, and until next time, live fast, love hard, survive with your mask on.
All right. So as I mentioned, huge thank you to Rachel, and everyone go check out Nightmare Alley if you are interested. And once again, next week for episode 500, send us your voice messages, podcast at trickortreatradio.com. We will be joined, Raven Shadow will be joined in studio, the return of Monster Zero in the chair. It's been almost 2 years since he was last there, Raven Shadow, right?
Yeah,
it was
awesome.
March something 2020. Yeah, 2020. So, and also Arkham Josh will be there as well. So we're going to be talking about New York Ninja. Can't wait. It should be a blast. And we appreciate all you guys who tuned in live. We had a great turnout tonight. Some new folks checking in and probably hanging out with Rachel. So we appreciate all you guys tuning in. And also to the people who sent in voice messages, and especially our Patreon supporters. You guys are the fucking best. Thank you to everyone who's going to listen to the podcast as well. We love you guys as well. So Until next week, when we tune in for episode 500, once again, big thank you to Rachel from Zombie Girls. Go listen to her shows, and we'll see you guys next week.